clouds. Dark clouds are gathering as markets shudder. Stocks are sinking. Currencies are stumbling. Fear and uncertainty is reigning. And the Middle East and in the Ukraine and Taiwan, the debt is endless. Yet one asset stands firm: gold. It is a biblical currency. In crisis after crisis, gold is there, in the background, always there. Its enduring value guards against loss, like a missile shield against incoming. While paper wealth burns, gold persists. Shield your savings against the looming threats of war, recession, contagion, and avoid the frenzy panic of the unprepared. Take control in the chaos. Your fortune favors decisive action. Get a hold of gold now before it's out of reach. Go right now to noblegoldinvestment.com or just simply go to the link below, www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com, or call them at 877-646-5347. You'll be glad you did.
On Friday, the United States imposed sanctions on 6 individuals associated with the Iranian-backed Iraqi militia group Kataib Hezbollah. The militia is accused of orchestrating a series of recent attacks against U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria, particularly following the October 7th attacks by Hamas against Israel. The sanctioned individuals include the militia's foreign affairs chief, a member of its governing council, its military commander, and a media spokesman. These sanctions entail a block on access to U.S. property and bank accounts, as well as restrictions on engaging in business with Americans, the Associated Press reported. Ongoing tensions in the region have seen a continuation of drone attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq. As of Friday, 3 additional attacks on U.S. military facilities in Iraq and Syria were confirmed by 2 U.S. defense officials. The total number of attacks on U.S. and coalition military facilities in the region has reached at least 60. While the attack on the air base in Syria resulted in no casualties but is under assessment for infrastructure damage, the attacks on 2 other bases inside of Syria caused no injuries or significant infrastructure damage, with minor injuries reported in the latter attack. South Korea is taking steps to outlaw the consumption of dog meat, aiming to resolve the ongoing debate surrounding this age-old tradition in light of increasing awareness of animal rights, as revealed by a policy chief from the ruling party on Friday. The practice of eating dog meat in Korea has faced international criticism for its perceived cruelty, and there is a growing opposition to it domestically, particularly among the younger generation. Ui Dong, the policy chief of the ruling People Power Party, stated during a meeting with government officials and animal rights activists that it is the time to address social conflicts and controversies associated with dog meat consumption. He proposed the enactment of a special act to bring an end to this practice, Reuters reported. You mentioned that the government and the ruling party plan to introduce a bill this year to enforce the ban, expressing confidence that bipartisan support would facilitate its smooth passage through Parliament. At the same meeting, Agriculture Minister Shung Hwang-kyeon affirmed the government's commitment to swiftly implement the proposed ban. The Russian Ministry of Justice has announced the submission of an administrative legal claim to the Supreme Court, seeking the recognition of the international LGBTQ public movement as extremist and the prohibition of its activities in Russia. The ministry did not clarify whether the intended ban targeted specific groups or organizations, leaving ambiguity regarding its potential impact on the LGBTQ community, related causes, and individuals at large. This proposed prohibition is part of an ongoing and intensified crackdown on LGBTQ individuals inside of Russia, a trend that has heightened since the commencement of Russia's offensive on Ukraine in February of the preceding year. Russia has previously employed the extremist classification against various rights organizations and opposition groups, exposing their members to legal repercussions, France 24 reported. The Justice Ministry alleged that the quote LGBTQ movement operating on the territory of the Russian Federation exhibited quote various signs and manifestations of extremism, including the incitement of social and religious hatred, he said. The announcement did not explicitly define the scope of this movement, but a court hearing is scheduled for November 30th. The leader of the Sphere human rights group, dedicated to advocating for the rights of the Russian LGBTQ community, expressed criticism in response to the ministry's statement.